This is what's gonna happen to your GOAT. He's gonna get infinite backshots. Y'all saying it's just a meme. It's fact.
That would mean the speed of his attacks has to be hundreds of octillions times of speed of light.
Yo, when they start showing out the numbers, bruh, it's like, damn. The signer wasn't saying you had to be there. Not real life. You had to be there. You actually had to be there. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta does not stand a chance against Cabba. He doesn't. This video does a good explanation of it, bro. Like, literally, he does not stand not even the slightest chance. Base Cabba, I don't know. Base Cabba's kind of insane, but like Super Saiyan Cabba, yes. It is a literal meme. It was a meme like late last year. Yeah, September last year. I remember it was going crazy on Twitter. I forgot what happened for this to come up. Was it sparking? It might have been sparking. Yeah, like this is what's gonna happen, bro. Zeph, I will slime you, bro. Just accept the truth. Accept the truth, and the truth will set you free, my brother. Like, it is indeed the truth. This is literally what Cabba's gonna do to your GOAT. This is what Cabba would legitimately do to your GOAT on a regular Tuesday, bro. This is what your GOAT is getting put in by Cabba, like, with no effort, by the way. This is what's gonna happen to your GOAT. He's gonna get infinite backshots. Y'all saying it's just a meme. It's fact. We gonna watch the video. It is true. Dude, this is why people don't like super scaling. Super scaling is so broken. Like, yes, the statement of me saying Cabba beats Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta does not make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. But super scaling is so broken. You had niggas in Super walking out of literal time jails, bro. You had Jiren walking out of time jails like it was nothing to him. You had niggas like that in Super on the daily. You had Android 17 fighting against bears on an island, and he could box with a god. Like, dude, the power scaling is so whack. So yes, this statement sounds crazy, but it's a fact.
In reality, Cabba was far stronger. So people started pushing further, wanting to show how absurd super scaling was. I even made a YouTube short a while back talking about how Cabba could solo Dragon Ball Z. Yep, let's go further.
Definitely can.
G2. Would he be able to beat Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta? It depends on how you view some specific things, so let me explain. We'll start by actually covering Cabba first. Where does he scale? We'll use anime Cabba because that's usually what people use, and it's the version more people are familiar with. And most importantly, it's the one with the most absurd scaling. And we're using Universe 6 Tournament Cabba, by the way. In base 2.
Oh, no way. There's no way he's that much. That is just crazy. That is actually disrespectful. Using that Cabba is actually disrespectful. I'm not gonna lie. That is legitimately disrespectful, dog.
We're ignoring the Super Saiyan portion of this fight because
like,
people talk about base Cabba versus Gogeta, so we're going to use that. He contends evenly with Vegeta here. This isn't an inference, Vegeta blatantly says it. He has no reason to lie, he's not being hyperbolic, and based on Cabba's power, he assumes he could casually use Super Saiyan and go beyond this level as well. There's an argument that Cabba is weaker because of him seemingly showing more effort, but it's a bit disingenuous to say that in my opinion.
Bro got beef with Gogeta. I am a Vegeta fanboy. If you put a gun to my head right now, you told me Gogeta or Vegito, I'm picking Vegito every time. I'm so sorry. I'm a Vegito nigga. I'm picking Vegito every time. But because of DBS Broly, the Gogeta propaganda has gotten too strong. Like, if you look, let's bring up Dokkan Battle, for example, bro. I don't know if y'all play, I don't play Dokkan that much no more. I've been playing since, like, literally, like, before the first year anniversary. I playing the same game for 10 years. Like, the game is so much better now than it used to be, but it's like, I just been playing the game too long. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta say goodbye. You just gotta say goodbye, twin. Like, dude, look at how they did the new Vegito to Gogeta. These ones just came out. Yeah, they just came out. And they can't even fuse. They can't even fuse to Vegito. You can't even play Vegito. In the same celebration, this nigga comes out turn 1 just to show that, like, the glaze of Gogeta and Vegito it's not close anymore. Like, Gogeta is just favored. They literally, it's just not close no more, bro.
In terms of raw power, Vegeta did blatantly state that they're even, and their beams were evenly clashing too. So we have visual proof, and
I don't know. Statements like this though, bro. DB characters be saying anything, bro. They be saying Goku will be in Super Saiyan 2 fighting Majin Vegeta, saying, "Damn, Vegeta's stronger than me." Whole time he has Super Saiyan 3 in the back pocket. They be lying.
A statement. Cabba is clearly
like,
a very awkward and
take
anxious
any
person
DB
based on any other scene we've seen him in.
From the actual
so this is just his personality
at
showing.
all.
You could even see right after the clash, he's normal. He wasn't really stressing himself too much. He was just in a high-level battle against an unfamiliar opponent, and at that point, that was his full power. So it makes sense he'd be nervous clashing with someone at full power, especially seeing that he was on even footing. Okay, so that establishes a baseline. What's the big deal? He could fight base Vegeta, so how did that translate to him beating all of GT, much less the rest of Z? Well, now the discussion becomes how strong is base Vegeta. We're more focused on Vegeta scaling here because Cabba on base Vegeta's level has huge implications. So
fair.
Vegeta at this point just trained for 3 years in the time chamber with Goku. Pretty straightforward, he's above his Resurrection F self, probably by a decent margin too.
Vegeto's moves aren't that cool looking, as if his spirit sword doesn't exist, as if the Kamehameha with swirls. Bro, what does Gogeta have? He has that little rainbow thing. That's all he got. The Stardust Breaker. Ooh, I'm so moved.
Nothing suggests one is objectively above the other, and if so, the gap would be minimal. By all accounts, the two are pretty much even. So here's the scaling so far. Cabba equals Vegeta, who is above Resurrection F Vegeta, who is equal to Resurrection F Goku. Now this is where the fun begins. The point we're at now is the crux of this entire argument. Everything is based on this. Does base Goku in Resurrection F outscale Super Saiyan God Goku in Battle of Gods?
Yes.
You might remember that Super Saiyan God never reappeared in the anime until the Tournament of Power. Before then, the form just disappeared. In the anime, for example, Beerus flat out tells Goku that the Super Saiyan God form disappeared, but the power did remain. That's because Goku absorbed the power of Super Saiyan God into his regular self. And this is consistent with Resurrection F.
Dude, all power scaling now, it's like, bro, the Battle of Gods buff he gained from this is so crazy. Like the scaling game is gone, bro. We lost recipes in this bit, bro.
Later on.
We lost
both in the film version and how it's framed in the anime.
It's crazy.
For the Resurrection F film, there was also an art book that states Goku and Vegeta can use the power of Super Saiyan God in base, and when they transform into Super Saiyan, that's how they become Super Saiyan Blue. The movie and the anime have some differences, but overall the anime is meant to follow Toriyama's outlines, and in terms of how the forms work, it seems pretty consistent. The important story beats are still the same, and we are still following the movie arcs at this point in the story. And like I said, that statement from Beerus about Goku absorbing the power into his base, that was from the anime after all. So it seems pretty consistent with that movie statement. Toriyama also did confirm in a Battle of Gods interview that Goku did absorb this power. So in both the anime and the film versions of Battle of Gods, this is consistent, and it seems to line up with what happened in Resurrection F in the anime.
Okay.
The issue with this is that nothing was planned out after this. But at the time, this was the intention. As of now, it seemingly works different. For the anime, Super Saiyan God eventually returned during the Tournament of Power when Goku used it. For Vegeta, outside of the manga version of the story, he never used Super Saiyan God until Broly. So what we could take from this is, at the time of release, the intent was to have base Goku in Resurrection F be fighting at least the level of Battle of Gods Goku. At the end of that arc, he's fighting in Super Saiyan, which has a multiplier of 50. So that means at minimum, for base Goku to fight on par with his Battle of Gods self, he's at least 50 times stronger.
Super Saiyan God is so sorry. It's Super Saiyan 3 or dude, we're just saying terrible takes in this chat right now. We're just saying Super Saiyan God is sorry. Yo, Super Saiyan God had mad aura. You wasn't there, twin. You was not there in 2013. Super Saiyan God had mad aura, bro.
Can go higher, but we're
mad,
using
that was like
minimums
my favorite form when I was a
this means
kid,
for
bro.
scaling, Cabba equals Universe 6
not
Vegeta,
there, bro.
who is above Resurrection F Vegeta, although we're not sure by how much, and that Vegeta is equal to Resurrection F Goku, who is at least 50 times stronger than the end of Battle of Gods Goku.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Goku, which
you see this super scaling? Do you see this on your screen right now?
Resurrection F Goku, who is at
Do you see this on your screen? Do you see why super scaling is so crazy? Like, I understand he's kind of taking what Vegeta said when they're equal in base form very literally, but if we are supposed to take it literally, like, this is what they're saying. This is what they're saying. This is a skinny, frail toothpick of a nigga who can't even go Super Saiyan, and he's like, this is where he scales. Probably never trained a day in his life. This is where he scales.
Super Saiyan God is far beyond Vegeto's power. Goku thought a hypothetical Vegito at that point wouldn't do anything of significance in terms of power to Beerus. Yet of course, Super Saiyan God Goku was able to. In Goku's mind, the strongest thing he could think of was probably a Super Saiyan 3 Vegito, which would mean Super Saiyan God Goku at this point is at least significantly above Super Saiyan 3 Vegito, a hypothetical Battle of Gods version specifically, which would obviously be stronger than Super Vegito from the Buu Saga. Okay, now we have that scaling change, so let's move forward. Why is it so impressive to be above Super Saiyan God Goku? Well, in the anime, he was contending with a suppressed Beerus, clashing evenly. This isn't to say they're equal, not at all. He's equal with a suppressed Beerus, a heavily suppressed Beerus. You can see their attacks are clashing with equal force, and Goku is countering his attacks equally. So yes, Beerus is a lot stronger, but he still is in a heavily suppressed state. And we can't attribute all the power to Beerus because otherwise he would just win outright. Anyways, multiple times this battle was stated to be threatening the entire universe. So, Goku's universal? Nope, better. Dragon Ball's universe has multiple infinite realms. So destroying one universe in Dragon Ball is like destroying a few actual universes worth of things. Super Saiyan God Goku in Battle of Gods is low multiversal, with attacks fast enough that they could travel from one edge of the universe to another in a short time to destroy it, because Earth is basically at the edge of that universe. That would mean the speed of his attacks has to be hundreds of octillions times the speed of light. And here's 1 octillion on...
Insane. Yo, when they start showing out the numbers, bruh, it's like, damn. it's like, come on, bruh. Like, come
and that's how many times
on.
the speed of light it's going. Probably even faster. So that means Cabba is likely hundreds of times beyond this level at minimum. Getting an exact estimate of how much Goku and Vegeta grew in the Ruined Spirit.
In base. You see why super scaling is so god awful? Nigga, in base.
Time is tough, and even between Resurrection F and Battle of Gods, we can't say for certain. But add that into the minimum 50 times multiplier that I mentioned before, and the fact that they were training for 3 years, plus all that time on Beerus' planet, and yeah, Cabba is absurd. But what about Gogeta? So this is actually much more straightforward. For Cabba, we needed some history, but for Gogeta, we could just go right into it. There's a few extra things I'll need to cover, but it's not going to be as convoluted. GT follows Dragon Ball Z's anime, which is way higher in terms of scaling. Meanwhile, Dragon Ball Super does not follow the Dragon Ball Z anime. Rather, it more closely follows Dragon Ball Z Kai, and is a lot closer to the manga events.
You see, okay.
There are still some slight differences, but even though that sounds like a weird distinction, it's important, because the Toei version of the Dragon Ball story with the Dragon Ball Z anime has way different scaling.
I swear they make these numbers up. Nah, literally, bro. But this part is true. Z scaling, the anime scaling is so much different from both the manga and Kai. It's insane. There's this damn stutter. The Z anime scaling is insane.
It has entire original arcs and a bunch of other types of filler, and a bunch of different statements that change scaling. This is stuff that's not present in the manga or even Kai. GT is a direct sequel to the Dragon Ball Z anime. Keep that in mind. So first off, Gogeta has multiple things that upscales him to low multiverse level, but we don't even need that. His own feats get him there. Omega Shenron alone is low multiversal because he threatened to destroy the universe in GT, which of course included all the realms within it.
Yep.
The minus energy ball was going to destroy that, and Gogeta not only stopped it, but he completely purified it with just a single kick. By default, this places Gogeta at multiple times beyond that same level Super Saiyan God Goku was at, but GT hits this feat way earlier on since it follows Dragon Ball Z's anime. In that anime, Kid Buu threatened to destroy the Kaioshin realm, which places Kid Buu at Universal. Yes, you heard me right. That sounds nuts, but the anime scaling is nuts compared to the manga.
Bro.
That is an infinite, universal-sized realm he's threatening to destroy. And Kid Buu surpassed pretty early on in GT by Rildo. That upscales base Goku to this level, and of course Gogeta is an even stronger Goku and Vegeta transformed, added together, then multiplied. And with another multiplier on top of that. As for speed, in the Z anime, there's a really impressive feat before the Buu saga even rolls around, which is funny. Goku and Pikkon fly from Grand Kai's planet to Hell. They're crossing an infinite realm here, and it's not like they took a while to do this either. They did it pretty quickly. They're flying at infinite speed, and Gogeta is way beyond this given the gap in time. So now on to the actual fight. Gogeta is way faster than Cabba, and is also a better fighter. Cabba is really fast, I mean, you saw what I mentioned before, but Gogeta should be at infinite speed. Cabba is a pretty experienced warrior, but not on the level of Goku and Vegeta. And even if we use Super Saiyan 2 Cabba from the Tournament of Power, it probably won't change much either. Based on what Super Saiyan 4 Goku did against Baby, Gogeta could also absorb key attacks. And just overall, he has a much better moveset, better abilities, and way more experience. Even if Cabba runs out the clock and Gogeta defuses, even the two Super Saiyan 4s should stand a chance. Especially with the DBZ anime scaling backing this up, Gogeta is really strong, but even when we ignore that and just look at the battle between Omega and Gogeta in a vacuum, he's still really strong. I think the only possible way this could be close is if we use Super Saiyan 2 Tournament of Power Cabba, and we ignore Dragon Ball Z anime scaling, which would be pretty disingenuous to do because it is canon to GT's canon. And even there, if we're just looking at Gogeta's feats in a vacuum and ignoring the Dragon Ball Z stuff that I mentioned, still, he's a really impressive fighter. So if we take that Dragon Ball Super scaling at face value, Cabba probably won't be winning, but putting up a fight here is still really impressive, and he's really strong. He's cracked. He can even solo Dragon Ball Z because, by default, he is significantly beyond Vegito, as we mentioned with Goku scaling. But while Cabba's scaling is good, it's unfortunately too vague to suggest that he's on the level of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and
Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was not trying either, which is a good comparison. He was not trying. I know the memes, the slander and the propaganda was pushed so crazy. I still low-key think Cabba's doing this, bro. I still low-key think Cabba still probably clears the nigga, but like with the Z, he's not wrong. The Z scaling is kind of crazy. So this video did convince me. Like, you know, again, the slander was absurd. If you were there at the time, bro, yo, the slander was crazy. The slander that was going on, bro. Like, look at some of this art, bro. God dang, bruh. This is literally, I don't even, how do you describe this, dog? How do you legitimately describe this, bro? The signer wasn't saying you had to be there. Not real life, you had to be there. You actually had to be there. You actually had to be, you had to be present. You had to be present for that, bro. That was insane, bro. My goodness.